Good morning and welcome to P&B Sports Show. It was a dramatic night in the UEFA Champions League, a night defined by pressure, tactical discipline and late goals and table-shifting results. Manchester City did what champions do, dispatching Galatasaray professionally. Chelsea survived the hostile Naples atmosphere to pull off a huge comeback victory. And in Paris, PSG and Newcastle cancelled each other out in a tense high-stakes draw. This morning, we are breaking down what happened, why it happened, and why these results have reshaped the Champions League table. Joining me is our in-house analyst, Abel Sunday, all the way from the nation's capital. Abel, good morning and welcome to the Sports Show.
Good morning, Tom, and thanks for having me this morning.
It's always a pleasure. You know, when you are on this show, we always get in-depth breakdown and analysis on whatever happens in any match or in any sport.
You think so?
Obviously, we know so. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're talking Manchester Galatasaray. We saw a very, very tense match yesterday between Manchester and Galatasaray, and we saw City winning that match, and they moved into the top eight, and they were able to secure a spot for themselves in the round of 16, and they eliminated the need for a playoff. What do you think about that particular match against Galatasaray?
Yeah, you know, even before when we're doing the post match
Analysis.
We talked about this game that is being one of the standard games in this Champions League tie, and of course they never disappointed. But Man City meant business. They understood what that game is all for, and they know what they are going to do. And of course, they did it very, very well. You see the first 9 or 10 minutes, two goals. Send that pass to Haaland, and Haaland just took it down before you know, and Tuchel created 2 chances, and rather gave 2 assists. I think one in the 9th or 10th minute, one in the something minute, and of course just clinical, and that's what, just like you rightly said on your introduction, they did what champions need to do, and they took that game. You could see the tactical play, from I'm talking about from defense down to the offense, how they tend to manage the game, and Victor Smith will not even have any chance to even show one of his qualities. Do you get? Most of those calls go against him, offside, and as the case may be, but that will not take away the quality of Manchester City, what Pep have done with that team. But only concern now is Tuchel sleeping out of the pitch with an injury, and I think that will really worry Pep Guardiola way forward. But if you ask me, Tom, I think City did the needful, and now they have some time to breathe, because they're not going to go through the route of those playoffs anymore. They finished top 8, and they automatically qualify for the next for the round of 16.
Like you rightly said, the pressure for Manchester City has reduced a little bit, especially with the recent struggles. And we could see now we have Edoku, who has an injury, someone who we saw play an unusual position, who actually played the central midfield yesterday and could either move to the right or the left side of the pitch. What does this say about Pep Guardiola's strategy? Because it seems like they played off the books and what we are used to seeing from them.
That shows the how versatile Pep Guardiola could be, and he prepared against every game how it comes. You remember I was telling you about this game previously, that the manager, practice of the managers will also really come and play. But not taking anything away from the Galatasaray team. They're also a decent team. They did so well. But of course, you could see that the more quality side actually take the day. They did what they need to do. First half, they took that 2 goals and they controlled the tempo. They make sure they manage it. Game management again, I think top notch for City side. They managed that game so well. We make sure that they don't give Galatasaray any hope of coming back, because I believe Galatasaray could got a goal that gives them some kind of momentum, and they will build on it to try to see how they could probably equalize that goal. But fortunately for them, they were able to maintain that game, and they finished 2.
Oh, in your own opinion, our own Osimhen. I remember in the pre-match analysis, we had Walter, and Walter said he expects Osimhen to have a goal. What do you think the problem? What do you think the problem for Osimhen was? Do you think it was that nobody gave him the ball? Because we could see late in the match when he had to go down to get the ball for himself and to try to work these goals for himself. But they were not just coming for him. What do you think? What do you think Manchester City did right? Was it their midfield? Was it the defense? Because I remember you talking about a high line.
Yes, I think what they did, they were able to choke in that midfield. They got all those supplies from the midfield to the striking position, and Osimhen could not get those balls. And you know one thing about Osimhen, if you watch or you follow Osimhen recent time, if Osimhen did not get the ball, he gets frustrated somehow, because he really wanted it. He wants to show who he is. He wants to make his presence being felt on the pitch. But when that supply don't stop, if you see, that is why I think that is why you see most times the Super Eagles, he has some kind of issues with this player, because sometimes when the ball don't come, he has to go down deep to get the ball and try to work things for himself. But in a game like this, it's very difficult for him to go down to carry the ball and work that, because I think the very top players, top experienced defenders, they know where to keep you, they know where to push you to where you will not be able to effect any changes.
The Galatasaray coach, he said that Osimhen is the best player he has seen, even comparing him to the likes of Erling Haaland. But Osimhen didn't have a goal. But one person that had a goal is the person called Erling Haaland. It was his first goal in 10 UCL games. What do you think about the goal? His first open goal in 10 UCL games.
Yes, I think it's a very good one for him now, like for him to get the goal now. Now that they are going into the round of 16, now at least the confidence should come back, because as a striker, scoring of goals is one very important thing for them as a striker, because as they score, they become sharper and they have that confidence in. But him scoring now, I think is a very good thing for City, because going into the round of 16, they need more of that. They need him to be sharp, they need to be clinical. Anyway, I get the chance to have to score. I think it's a very good time for that goal to come in now.
Okay. If you were Pep Guardiola, how are you going to be feeling knowing that you've escaped the playoffs and you moved on to the round of 16? And what message are you going to be passing to these players moving forward?
I'm very happy, of course, definitely. I should, because with the abysmal performance in the league, see how they were not putting performances together. The one we say that, yes, winning to Galatasaray yesterday is a morale booster for Pep Guardiola, and you have to have this kind of leader, and you can pass this one to Messi. You will be relaxed more and pass some messages to the player. Guys, let me tell you, we can do this. We can do this. Let's just get people accepted. And now, of course, they have some time to create for the round of 16. So the guys who can do this, can get this to flow. And definitely, you remember, if you recall, you know that they are already one leg in the finals of I think the Carabao Cup or FA Cup, I can't remember. They are one leg in the finals already. So never can tell. Pep Guardiola can also lead Manchester City this season with the trophy receiver.
So might be expecting him to get a trophy, and he's in close proximity to the likes of Arsenal as well in the Premier League. But moving forward to another sharp Premier League team that's in the Champions League, we'll be talking about Chelsea. 3-2 against the Naples side, against the Napoli side. What do you think? Because Chelsea's dramatic comeback, it ensured that they finish inside the top 8 and advance directly to the last 16. And Napoli's loss meant they ended outside the qualifying position. What do you think about this? Because for Napoli, this meant everything for them. And for Chelsea, they just needed to secure this to qualify for the round of 16.
Yeah, for Napoli, is a disappointing one for them going out of the Champions League this first round. It's very, very disappointing for them, and I think for Chelsea, It's a very good one. And you know, with Rosenio, which is the team, the new coach of Chelsea, I think he has done so well. There's no two ways about it. Short time, he has put together performances at I think well, quote and unquote, Enzo Maresca would have done, but I think he has really proven himself that okay, is somehow man for the job. But going into this Chelsea team, the first goal came in penalty, and of course we're looking at, oh, Chelsea might do something better. All of a sudden, boom, Rashmore. I think Rashmore, now your former Manchester United player, came in, and of course they scored 2 goals. And before the halftime, we saw Napoli up 2-1, thinking that okay, that is the end of the road for well, or rather that's the hope for the Napoli team. But all of a sudden, we saw what after those changes, we saw what Opama gave a very superb assist to Fernandez, and Fernandez actually did the needful and scored those goals. But that shows that the kind of depth that Chelsea have, and Opama with the kind of quality Opama, because he came in as a substitute second half, and he gave those 2 quick assists, and Chelsea in a goal style of stage of like Napoli. You cannot put Napoli and come back normal. You could see how
the atmosphere was extremely electrifying. But I think
even you want it from home, you cannot go there and come back normal. But for this Chelsea team to go there and do the needful to come back, I think
yes,
you have to give them.
There was one player that stood out, and that player was Juan Pedro. He scored a brace to help Chelsea win this match. What does he say about his impact in their European style and in their European championship success so far?
And I think it's better than one outstanding player. Whenever he's in his form, you could see Pedro do so well. Pedro did some fantastic
2 goals. That meant a lot.
Yeah, that was the 2 goals of Pedro. He gets some fantastic performance even during the league. He has proven himself over and over again. But keeping Pedro fit, I think, is one thing that this coach needs to do. Just keep Pedro fit, keep Obama fit, and I think just need to rest for these guys. They are going to they need to do. And hey, Manchester United, I know definitely you guys will be scared of this kind of performances that Chelsea is putting in, because you know that top 4 spot they're also looking for. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Champions League. But they've done so well. They've given what they need to give, and they are in the top 8 right now.
Do you think? Abel, do you think that the way Napoli approached the match was extremely wrong, especially playing a high line against a team like Chelsea? Because you would expect that a team that is fighting for their life will see how they can just, play a little bit of defense and look for the counter against a side like Chelsea. Do you think that was a mistake from the Napoli side?
No, I don't think so. Anthony Conte's pattern of game is always going attack, go for the goal. That's Anthony Conte for you. But I think what really gave the punchline was that there are so many players on injury. So you could even see Lukaku could not even come up because injury. So there are so many players on injury, and that is also a factor of that game, and that made Anthony Conte handicap in a way, because really injury really hits him that much. So I don't think that's the only thing they could do. Do you want him to relax against the Chelsea side and play defensively? It will not work. So the best bet for him is to go all out for them. And assuming his calculation was correct, he would have won that game.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Well, Abel, I know you have a lot to say, but right now we're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion. Chelsea, Napoli, and then we're going to be moving on to the draw, PSG versus Newcastle. Don't go anywhere, because P&B Sports. Welcome back to P&B Sports Show. I remain your host, Aaron Kotom, and we're still here discussing the Champions League. And here we still have our own in-house sports analyst, Abel Sunday. Abel, we are still on the Chelsea-Napoli matter, talking about the atmosphere, talking about everything that happened. It seems like it was a lot, but in your own opinion, how do you think that this Champions League achievement is going to affect Chelsea in the Premier League, especially when they'll be sitting below a Manchester United side?
I know you're going to go Manchester United.
You know, sometimes we always find a way to link up Chelsea and Manchester United into the same statement.
But Tom, to be honest, them qualifying for the next. In this one, I think if they finish below 8, they would have gone to play playoffs. That's more games for them. But they finish top 8. It saves them a little. Because the next round they're preparing for now is round of 16. They'll wait after they play up. So somehow they are not to relax. So they can focus on the league and other.
So what you are saying is that it reduces the pressure so far.
Yes, drastically in a way, it is drastically. But they're still being in the Champions League and being in the Calico or the they also have, I think there's a deficiency there because Manchester United have upper hand because why?
Please. Let's leave Manchester United out of this. But let's talk about the new headmaster in town, and that is Liam Rossignol. What do you think about his performance so far? And how will you rate it on the scale of 1 to 10?
Well, Rossignol, I think he has played how many games now? I think he lost just one to Arsenal. So that's the only game he has dropped so far. And to be honest, I think he has also but you cannot just use 2 or 3, 4 games to grade any manager in this kind of level. No, you can't say that. We had a Michael Carrick, who is in Manchester United, and he has played the biggest teams in the English Premier League. Are you going to say that you can't use those 2 games to define the type of team that Manchester United is? Well, let's leave that talk for another day, and let's move on to PSG. Let's move on to PSG and Newcastle. It was 1-1. Both teams drew and failed to accrue enough points to remain inside the top 8, meaning both teams, they dropped into the Champions League playoff. What does this mean for these both teams, and how do you think they approach this match? Well, Luis Enrique wanted this game more because he wants to win this game and get some kind of leader, finish on the top 8, avoid playoff. But it's quite unfortunate it did not happen. But again, I think yesterday Newcastle have the better side of the bargain. Why did I say so? Because Newcastle, that like the underdog came into that game. PSG wanted to win, defending Champions League. Do you understand?
Yes.
And everybody expected them to go all out and win that game. But unfortunately, they didn't. And again, in that game, they had a penalty early in the game. They're very supposed to convert. They missed that penalty. And now they are thinking we go back home and read back themselves. How can we do 1-1 and I had a penalty in this game and I should not convert it? It's also going to take again still Newcastle also have a great chance to score that goal, but of course they blew it up. That is in both sides. But I think Newcastle will be happy going home with a draw.
And they are playing a PSG side that has the best player in the world so far, and he had to miss a penalty as well. Well,
that tells you another body. To be honest, like I already said, Newcastle got the better bargain there. Getting a draw from Paris is one very huge point that can take to the back anytime, anything.
Well, it seems like we're going to be seeing Paris Saint-Germain and Newcastle in the UEFA Champions League playoff. But now we're going to be
It's not saints. They are there. They finished the
Fantastic. It seems like you are so excited because I guess you predicted this one earlier. But moving forward, we are going to be analyzing the previous UEFA Champions League table against the present UEFA Champions League table. Well, it seems like in the top 8, we have Arsenal and Man City, and a win for these teams would guarantee, if with the previous table, would guarantee direct qualifications to the round of 16 and bypass the playoff. And in the 9th and 16th position, this team will enter the Champions League playoff round, seeded or unseeded, depending on ranking. And in the 17th to 36th, teams outside the top 16 were eliminated from the UCL competition. And looking at it previously, you'll see Napoli, despite matches left were at risk of being mathematically unable to reach the top 8. And following all final league phase fixtures which were played yesterday, we saw some change in the table. You know, the standings changed in key ways, particularly for teams fighting for top 8 spots and playoff seeding. And in the present Champions League table, we can see a Manchester City versus a Galatasaray side. City moved on, you know, to the top 8 spots on the Champions League table. Then also Chelsea versus Napoli. You can see Chelsea with versus Napoli side that had a 3-2 win, and Chelsea had a dramatic comeback in order to move directly to the round of 16. And PSG versus Newcastle, we could also see that side. You know, the both teams actually decided that, you know what, we are going to be dashing it out in the playoff. And the teams that reached or stayed in the top 8, Arsenal, Bayern, Liverpool, Tottenham, Barcelona, Chelsea, Sporting CP and Manchester City, did so by combining consistent results across 8 match days. Winning on the final night was crucial for Chelsea and Man City to avoid the playoff round. PSG and Newcastle, obviously, like I've said before, they drew. And Napoli failed to gather enough points on their group, losing to Chelsea, and finish outside both top 8 and playoff slots. This means they are eliminated from the European competition. It's quite unfortunate, but moving forward, you know, automatic round of 16 spots, the top 8 teams, you know, obviously they bypass the playoffs and are seeded for the round of 16, giving them a strategic scheduling and preparation advantage so that they can focus on their own domestic leagues as well. And in position 9 to 16, like we rightly said, we've spoken about them, and we've spoken about the elimination phase as well. Abel, in your own opinion, what do you think about this table? We saw a Real Madrid side that decided to behave lackadaisically against yes, exactly, Benfica. What do you think about this side? What do you think about Mourinho? What do you think about the way he played? He decided and said, you know what, I'm still one of the best managers in the world.
Well, Mourinho played against his former team, and he gave them the whole bashing of their life, forced back in head. And I think Mourinho did Manchester City a favor, because Manchester City qualified in the experience of Real Madrid. Because I think Real Madrid didn't get in a draw, I think they would have won people ahead of Man City in that in the law. So talking about the Madrid and Benfica, is a game that you could see the manager coming all out but vertically, if you know Mourinho's kind of game, he will want to play sit down and play defense. But yesterday, he really approached that game. He was giving them a low punch. He approached that game tactically.
I think no matter the team Mourinho coaches or manages, again, no matter if he's playing the top team in the world, you will always see the quality of a manager like Mourinho. Thank you, Abel, for your in-depth analysis on these matches. You know, you've done a superb job breaking them down for us and telling us what we need to know and what these matches mean for each team. Thank you so much. And now we'll be moving to our athlete of the day. And before we wrap up, our athlete of the day today, we'll be celebrating João Pedro, Chelsea's forward and match winner against Napoli. Born in Brazil, João Pedro built his reputation through intelligence, movement and composure rather than raw physical talent. Against Napoli, he showed maturity beyond his years, scoring twice in the second half, exploiting space and delivering when Chelsea needed calm heads. His brace didn't just win a match, it secured Chelsea's Champions League future for his decisive impact, composure under pressure, and match-winning quality. Joao Pedro is our athlete of the day on P&B Sports Show. Well, that's where we'll draw the curtain on today's edition of P&B Sports Show. I know that a lot of you want us to continue, but yesterday we saw a night of big moments, tactical battles, and results that reshape the Champions League landscape. My thanks to Abel Sunday for your in-depth analysis, our own in-house sports analyst. You know, if you enjoyed today's analysis, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on Facebook at Politics and Business TV English, on Instagram at P&B_TV_English, and on X, formerly Twitter, on P&B TV_ENG. I'm Arako Tom. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.